So the FCT Indigenes have actually revolted, and Wike has begged the FCT Indigenes to forgive Akpabio. My people, it's getting tougher by the day. It's getting very, very tough by the day, as all the indigenes of FCT are very, very angry with Akpabio because they feel and say that Akpabio is actually beginning to bite more than he can chew. Yes, he's biting more than he can chew because the indigenes of FCT are closer to Kogi State than any other tribe here in Nigeria. And since they are this close, it's actually getting more difficult for them to have a say in what happens or what stays with them. So all the same, it is actually pertinent to note that things have actually been falling out of hand. Things have really, really been falling out of hand. And if these FCT indigenes, who originally are the owners of Abuja, do not have a say in matters that concern them, then it's going to be a free fight for everybody. There has been this conspiracy that Wike actually came and took the only position that is meant to them. Before now, they've always been giving FCT minister to indigenes, FCT minister to indigenes, and one of them was Philip Aduda, who served as FCT minister for the past 16 years. But the funny thing now is, even with Philip Aduda being the FCT minister, he did not really do much to help his own people. So right now, since they brought Wike, Wike has actually been the darling of so many people because people feel that yes, Wike has added value to FCT. But they fail also to understand that they've actually been the issues that Wike has been selling all the indigenous land, Wike. But all the same, Wike has actually been able to permeate his way into the system in such a way that the people now really like him. Now, if Wike, as a matter of fact, is being liked by the people, so how come now that these people now are now beginning to want to fight Akpabio? Because they feel Akpabio is fighting their sister. But since Wike now feels that he actually has the ears of all of these FCT people, so if they have the ears of the FCT people, then Wike is now trying to mediate on behalf of Akpabio. And this mediation is actually helping matters because the people now are beginning to soft pedal. The people now are beginning to give a listening ear to all what Wike has to say. So Wike already is now become a mediator for Akpabio. And you also know that Akpabio for some time now has actually not really been in a very good position for people to really relate with him or see how he feels. His fight with Natasha was very, very, very uncalled for. And with the fact that it was uncalled for, these people are still adamant. These people are still trying to actually know exactly what is happening. They want to really, really know what exactly is happening. Because if they do not know what is happening, it will be difficult for them to actually give a clear-cut judgment of who is right or who is wrong. The people all over the place have consistently been trying to make their impact felt. The indigenes of FCT have a lot of complaints. They are complaining that they have not been taken good care of. They are complaining that there have been serious marginalization. They have been complaining that FCT is not being handled as a state. If it's being governed as a state, they are going to have their own governor, their own deputy governor, their own commissioners, and everything that pertains to them. But they also fail to understand that Federal Capital Territory, by constitution, has some separate powers. And these separate powers are what actually makes it FCT. So as FCT, they have the prerogative to actually decide and do some certain things the way they want to do it. So right about now, my people, it is very pertinent to note that the indigenes of FCT are not very, very happy with Akpabio. Akpabio has to do a whole lot. Yes, he has to do a whole lot to see that he pacifies these people. Because whether you like it or not, it is their land, it is their statutory land, and it's their responsibility to see that they keep everybody going. They need to just keep everybody going. They need to just keep the system going. They need to just keep the circumstances going very, very well. Because when these things are actually not put into perspective, then it's going to be very, very difficult for them to have a stay. And this stay is what will actually activate them and take them to another level. The level they are right now is a level of no return. It's a point where people from different walks of life will begin to see things differently. People from different walks of life will begin to feel and know that, well, what can we do? What can't we do? So the FCT people should just begin to know that they need to actually speak with one voice, because from the look of things, they have actually not been speaking with one voice. That is why once they give any of them a piece of land, the first thing the person does is to go and sell it. And yeah, when they sell it, people will definitely want to buy it. People will definitely want to buy it. And as people continue to buy it, there are still these ideas that what do we do? How can we do this? These are the issues, because when you look at it very well, the issues are very, very, very enormous. Yes, the issues are enormous, and Wike understands this. Wike is a very bad person, so he understands the system, he understands the gimmicks, he understands the politics more than Akpabio. But Akpabio always thinks that he knows more than Wike. But truth be told, Wike, I feel, from my own opinion, understands all of these gimmicks better. Yes. And once anybody understands what diplomacy means, the person is actually going to be given some leverage and some form of leverage. But most of the people do not actually have a total understanding of what diplomacy is. Wike seems to understand diplomacy much, much, much better. Because if he does not understand diplomacy, how can he be in APC? How can he be in PDP and is working for APC? That shows that the man understands diplomacy. That shows that the man also understands the game of politics very, very well. So him really, really understanding and knowing the game of politics is now beginning to try to mediate for Wike. Mediate for Akpabio. As a matter of fact, Akpabio has been having a lot of family issues. Not just family issues. Now there's this situation of the possibility of him being cloned or him not being cloned. But the question now remains, is Wike going to help him to come out of this clone issue? Because the truth about the matter is, if Wike goes too deep trying to help him, the possibility of Wike drowning himself in the murky waters of Akpabio is very, very there. That is why he's actually playing safe. That's why he's actually trying to be extremely, extremely careful. Because once he is not careful in handling some of these issues, the tendency of him falling apart is going to be there. But only time shall tell what exactly this place holds for us. So my people, this is Gist Lover Hub TV, and we're here to bring you up to real time updates of what's happening around our society. Thank you.